Welcome back to Dance Studio Owner Life Coaching. Today, I want to talk about what your enough number is. The reason why this is important is because there is this pervasive thought in business that we must always achieve more students, more customers, more money, more classes, bigger buildings, bigger, 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 more, buy. And there comes a point in your life when you really don't have the fire inside of you to go and get more. And that doesn't always mean that you've given up or that there's something wrong. It could just mean that you're starting to come into what your enough number is. Now, this is important because you can still have growth professionally and within your business without the constant pursuit of more. And I think, especially in our culture, we are constantly seeking validation from others by getting more things. And so it might be the pressure to get more marketing going, the pressure to make more money, the pressure to have larger square footage, the pressure to have a second location, the pressure may not even feel like you need to have more, but when you hear about someone who seemingly has more, you feel like you're not enough, you're not good enough. And that is the thought that keeps bugging you. I really think that the thing that will help get us off the hamster wheel of constantly chasing, constantly feeling like we're not enough, constantly feeling like we'll never make it, constantly feeling like things aren't possible, is when we, for a moment, answer the question of what it is that is our enough number. And so for me, our enough number is that revenue target, that amount of money that is what you desire, what you can actually earn, right? So it's like the meeting of what you're capable of and what you desire. And the reason why I say this is, I've talked to studio owners, and some of them, their enough number is being able to have a retirement fund, pay for all their bills at home and at work, go on vacations, and have an easy pace in life and not feel overworked or overwhelmed. For other people, their enough number is a much higher number because they are building something that will create generational wealth. That is feeding literally full time salaries and caring for and providing for an entire family. There's also people who run their studio, and this is something that is secondary to their lives. I talked to someone, actually, I was at a Dance New Jersey Fest event earlier this year, and someone was talking about how they're a full time teacher in public school and they are a full time teacher in public school teaching dance. They started their studio as a side project and they don't actually want to grow it to hundreds of students. This is a passion project of theirs that they kind of do for fun, and they don't have the desire to put in the amount of work involved in having a larger studio. And when she told me this, it was interesting because she said, I don't want 200, 300, 400 students because I don't want to put in the work involved in getting to that big. I don't want to have to deal with staffing, facilities, all the things that go hand in hand with it. But she said it as if like she felt bad about it. But this is a very well accomplished person who, by all accounts, is a very strong dance educator, a very savvy businesswoman. And I said to her, but if that's what works for you, then that's what matters. If you're content and happy with where you are and what you're doing, and you feel that you are living in your purpose, then that's exactly where you will be, should be, and are. So when I think about this more, I like to push my clients when we're talking about different things like in the life coaching arena. I ask them what their goals are, because my job as a coach is not to tell you what you need to do more of or what you need to stop doing. It's to pull out from you, extract from you, what are your goals? What do you want in your life? And hold you accountable to the goals that you set for yourself. Not only hold you accountable, but check in and see if that's still the goal that you actually want. Because this is something I found. I found that people will give me a number. Let's say they want to make $250,000 a year in their studio. Okay, this is just purely for an example. They'll tell me that number. And sometimes they're telling me that number and they don't believe that they can actually do it because they know that it seems out of reach to them. Or they'll tell me that number and what they want and what they're capable of is so much more. Maybe it's really 250 is what they're saying, but what they're really wanting to do is 500,000. This is where we get this disconnect in our mind, and it's hard because sometimes when we strive for something that's not in alignment with what we actually want, then we really struggle. We struggle and we get exhausted because we're putting on a front. We're putting on a front of something that is a life of someone that is not us. We're trying to live a life and run a business as someone else. So, one of the things that for me I think was so telling is when I was working with my own coach and she was asking me things about what my financial goals were. My first response was like straight out the gate, I just came up with some random number. And I don't know if you've ever done that before, but yeah, I just threw out some random number. And she was like, okay, like no big deal if that's what you want to do. But after I had a chance to really think about it, I thought, for me and where I'm at and what I want for my life, my enough number is a lot lower than that. So not only was my enough number significantly less than the number I gave her, I also discovered that I did not want to do the work involved to get to this crazy high number. I like having time off during the day. I enjoy being available for events at my kids' school. I enjoy going on Tuesday afternoon dates with my husband. I enjoy the life that I've created. And when I look at scaling my company to the point of what this massive goal that I blurted out was, when I look at what that would entail, it would require more mental load for me and more work hours. And so at that moment, I realized that it was time to reevaluate this whole thing and introduce this thought for myself of what my real enough number was versus this goal that had been put into my thoughts from external sources. So, this is what I want to say. If you figure out what your enough number is, set that with intention and then work towards that. When you reach your enough number, that is the time to evaluate. And when you evaluate, my urging is for you to celebrate having reached your enough number and then looking around and saying, is this what I thought it would feel like when I got here? As you work towards that enough number, know that this is a highly personal number and maybe other people won't understand it. They may not get it. They may feel like, oh, you should do more, shoot for the moon, get this marketing going, you'll get this. Like, quiet the noise and shoot for your own personal enough number. And you don't have to tell everyone what it is if you're scared to tell everyone what it is. Start acting on it. Be true to your own self about what your actual enough number is. For me, I overshot and said some crazy behind number to my life coach. And again, I came back with, what is the life I want to live? And that's what's at the heart of all of this for me. My mother used to always say, to thine own self be true. She would say that all the time. And it's so, so very important. To thine own self be true. Find your enough number, set that as your North Star, and pursue it, knowing in full confidence that the decision you made that came behind this enough number was in alignment with your true self. Friends, until next time, I wish you the best.